Are you new to Facebook stories? You've never made a story before and you want to learn how? I'm going to teach you that in today's tutorial. So it's nap time here. I'm hiding out in my basement and I'm going to pop on over to my phone because phone is the best place to create a story and show you step by step, walk you through all the buttons on how to make a Facebook story. Now, before we do that, make sure that you're part of Create Stories That Sell. It's a free Facebook community where I am talking about social media stories every day. We're talking about how to share about your product or your opportunity that doesn't come off spammy, how to keep a story always up and working for you, even when life feels so boring and on repeat, and just how to be very consistent with your stories. So head on over to that group. I'll put the link in the pinned comments of this video. And now let's dive into how to create a story itself. If you get some value from this today, hit that like button, leave me a comment, ask me a question. I am here to help you win on social media. Okay, so I'm going to open up Facebook, and then up here at the top, you're going to see the button to create a story. So I'm going to push that plus sign. And then here, there's two different ways. So if you know you want to do a picture, you can just pop on a picture, okay? But you can also see options here at the top. So you can see you could do a poll right away, a selfie, mood, boomerang, green screen, music, text, okay? So you have a lot of different options. Let's just pop on text here. So if you want to do just a text story, you can start typing in, here is a text story. And then if you click this clean button, it's going to show you all the different types of fonts, okay? And then you can click this button that's going to give you different background color options. Okay, so if you didn't see how I got to it, it's this little circle button right next to the word button, okay? And it's all these different colored backgrounds, okay? And you can change it all out. They have lots of different cool features, okay? And they change pretty frequently, okay? So lots of different things that you could just mess around with, okay? So say I want to do that one, then I can still go back in. I can change the font style. Okay, I can click the done button. Now, say you do it once, you want to go back in and edit it. You're going to click it again. Okay, so that's the text option. Okay, you can also do a mood. I have a whole tutorial that is just on how to add a mood into your stories, so you can check out that tutorial. I have a whole tutorial that goes over how to use the poll button really, really well, and that is how to boost your engagement. So check out that video if you want to learn more about the polls. I have footage on how to do the green screen and a lot of cool tricks on how to use that for your business. So that's upcoming. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe so you can get that tutorial when I upload it. But for the sake of this, we're just going to go with a picture. Okay, now a couple things I want to show you with the picture option here. So here you can see I'm using 2 fingers to zoom the picture in. Okay, so this is really helpful to know because you really want to fill the full vertical space. Vertical pictures outperform so much better. So for instance, like with this one, if I wanted it to be me and my whole boys filling the full space, I could just zoom it in. Okay, so here it's small, here I can zoom it. So we take up the full amount of space, okay, and you can leave a little bit of space at the top because at the top you'll see in stories, that's where people's profile pictures and the little line showing how many stories they have up. So that sizes it pretty well. Okay, so that's how you can resize a story just by moving it with your fingers. Now, let me go back to the black picture, and then I'm going to walk you through all these different buttons. Okay, so you're going to see add sticker buttons at the bottom, and you could use that, okay? But typically, I am just going to go up here to these different stickers. So here you can see all I did was push this little smiley face button, okay? And it pulls up some different options here, okay? So at the top, we see stickers. I can click on GIFs, or I can click on emojis and get access to all the different emojis. Okay, so there's quite a fair amount of different things that we could do. So if I put in location, I can type in where I'm at right now. I can also just type something like home and say I want to use home, home sweet home, change the style. You can see that when you tap it, okay, it's going to show different colors, okay? If you want to get rid of something, you just hold on it, you drag it, and move it to the trash can. Okay, so that can be adding in your location, which can be fun, like say you went to a baseball game, or you go to the zoo, or you want to highlight where you're at. You can also add in the time, so I'm making this at 15:50 in the afternoon, okay, and again, by tapping on it, it changes the colors. So say you get up super early in the morning and you do something, adding in the time could be fun if it's something unique to time. You can also add in the weather, and again, by tapping it, you change the style. So this is all under that sticker button. You can tag someone. So if you're doing something with someone, so here's my mom, I'll tag Janet. So this is fun because then depending on your privacy settings, which I'll go over in a moment, but depending on your privacy settings, if you tag someone in your stories, they can add it onto their stories, which is pretty cool. Okay, so I just tagged my mom in that, and if I want to make sure that she can add it to her stories or just check my privacy settings in general, I'm going to go to this privacy button in the corner, and here you can see who you are setting it to. So you can set it to public, friends, hide the story from certain people, set it to customs, that type of thing. So I usually almost always leave my stories to public, so we'll just save that, and then we'll get rid of the tag for the moment. Okay, some other cool options. The comment button. Again, I have a whole tutorial on how to add and use the comment button to your advantage in stories and how to do that for business purposes. So you can watch that one. You can add in music, so you can search for something if you have like a video that'll play while and you have music in the background with it. You can click on the question button and type in and ask a question. And then you can tap these bottom ones if you don't have a good idea. Facebook is even giving you some suggestions. One of the big things with stories is if you want engagement, you really need to ask questions that are easy enough for people to answer. And I have a lot more tips and tricks on engagement with Facebook stories and also newsfeed posts with a free guide, 15 unbeatable posts and story ideas. And so I'll link that in the description of this video, but I highly recommend grabbing it, downloading it. It'll give you ideas. You can print it off, and it's a lot easier to keep on hand than just like a tutorial that you have to watch each time. So we are still with the sticker button. Like I already mentioned with the poll, there's a lot of cool things that you can do. So you can just type in, do you know how to use the poll button? Okay, and it's going to leave that font as white. And then you can also change these. So you can do words, you can do emojis, just by tapping in here. Now, this shows up really, really well with white because I have a black picture inserted. But what if your background is very white? What should you do then? Well, the cool thing with this is, let me show you from the start. When it says ask a question, if you just type the space bar once, it disappears totally. So now you have the poll, but you don't even have a question there. And so that's where we move on to the next button below, which is the text. So you can ask any question here with the text button. And then again, you can color this any color you want. And so you can really make it cool. Okay, and I'm going to go over more with the text here in a moment. So let me get rid of the poll. If you want to get more info on the poll, as I mentioned, check out the how to boost your story engagement. If you want to overlay pictures, you don't want to make your stories too busy, but this circle button here allows you then to add in more. So here is picture, that is my Bitmoji, who I use a lot. You're going to see her in my YouTube videos. And you can see that she just overlays right on this. So this can be really, really fun when you want to insert pictures or do something just clever with the words. And you're going to see I do that at times with my stories. So let's get rid of her. Let me show you another example with inserting a picture. So the other cool thing is so like here's me and my boys, and it says tap to change the style. So I can tap, and it's going to make it a circle, square, triangle, heart, back to the normal size. So you can tap it and go through all the different ones. Okay, so the other cool thing, I want to show you another way how to use the inserting a picture. So I like to shout out teammates or people that have successes. So here's a lady in a business opportunity that just recently hit a promotion. So I'm grabbing her picture and I'm going to make it a circle because that just looks cool. And then the other cool thing is I'm going to pull up another picture. So this is her name, and she just hit a promotion in this company. Now, I like to keep curiosity alive. And if you haven't watched the video, check out this video, Why to Not Mention Your Company Name. But in it, I talk about the benefit of curiosity marketing. And so here I can position her picture right over the company name and then add in other things to this. Okay. And I can size it. Oh, let me pull her. So you're going to have to kind of be creative with what you do where. Okay. When you're inserting pictures to keep the pictures on top of each other. But I can grab this, put her picture here, and then so it covers the company name, keeping curiosity alive, and then I can add other things to this. So there's a lot of cool things that you can do with that overlay option when you hit the circle button to insert other pictures. So huge props, Misty, for your recent promotion. If you haven't seen my video on Tapestry and you are looking for ways to make more money passively online, check that out. I do a review of the company. Okay, so let's get rid of that and let's keep going through our different options here with stickers. You can also add in your Facebook avatar, okay? So it's going to overlay right here. So I like to use my avatar at times when I'm just asking helpful questions. So an example of this could be for my niche, like, do you know how to brand yourself and not your company, right? Like, so I could ask that question, and then I could add in the poll button. I'm going to hit that, and I could just leave it yes or no. And then this would be a relevant story for my niche because I'm helping people learn how to market themselves on social media. So you could just add your avatar, ask a simple question that is all based on attraction marketing. And if you don't know what I mean by attraction marketing, I want you to go to this video where I talk about what it is and how to have people reaching out to you for your products and your opportunity instead of you prospecting them. It's my favorite thing to do on social media. I have whole tutorials on how to create your Facebook avatar. I also have a tutorial on ways to stand out using your Facebook avatar. So go ahead and check out those videos if you want to learn how to use them. We are going to scroll down a little bit more. And then the other thing that you can do is insert in these interactive buttons. And the cool thing about them is they do things when you push them. So there are 3 of them. You have the flame, and you have the smiley face, and you have the heart. Okay. Now, I have a whole tutorial where I go over all the cool tips, tricks, and hacks on how to use these to actually get people pushing them and get more engagement on your stories. You can also insert a feeling. I have here the picture of me and my boys last night at the baseball game. We were having so much fun, and so I can click this button and I can insert a feeling, and I could just say, I'm feeling grateful, right? And then if you tap it, you're going to see those little bubbles pop up to show like who it's coming from, or you can just leave it as a square. So I could insert that. It's just kind of a cute way to show how you're feeling about something. With stories, you really want to always evoke emotion. That's how you're going to increase your engagement, because when people feel something, they react to it. So after the sticker button, we've kind of exhausted this. You can then click to GIFs. Now you can type anything here in the GIF bar and search for it. And then when you click on that, that's going to be able to then insert it. There's a lot of fun different ways that you can use the GIFs. If you want to see different ways I'm using it, check out some of my other Facebook tutorials, and you can see just ways I'm adding in GIFs, because I use them all the time. You can make anything kind of like a video. It just makes it so much better and draws people's eyes into areas that you want to highlight on your story. You can also see which ones are trending, and you can see you can size them just by using your 2 fingers. And then last but not least, you have emojis here, and I love using emojis. Now, I don't recommend using stickers, GIFs, and emojis all at once, because you don't want your story to be too busy. But the cool thing with emojis is when you add it in, it's going to change the text. So here's a picture of my son. So this picture, if I posted it in my story right now without anything on it, it's not a very good story. Like, I'll be honest, because there's nothing to this. Like, no one knows what my thought process is behind it. When I add some text and an emoji, I'm going to create a lot more to it. So I could write, better the sink than the toilet. And then I am going to highlight it in a different color so it stands out. And then I'm also going to center it this way and then make it pretty readable. And then by adding in an emoji, people are going to right away know that I think this is funny, right? Again, like, I want people to feel and have emotion with it. And then you can see, depending on which one you push on is how it overlays. The other thing that I can do to it is ask a question, and I'm going to keep it the same style font. So you can see me just moving things around here so I get the overlay exactly how I want it. I think I might make that black. And then I'm going to add in the pull button like I showed you. Boop. And this works really well because I am always marketing myself to moms, and it just makes it fun. Do your kids love better the sink than the toilet? Do your kids love playing with water all the time? Yes, nope, no water here. And then I'm just going to click the share to story button, and it's going to upload. To add in text to your stories, you've seen me do, we're going to click this text button, and we have a lot of different options here with the styles. So I'm just clicking this button here, and it's going through the different options. I can space it and choose, do I want it left, right, or center style? I can add in a background color to it or not. And then you can also change the color of the font here. So it can be a lot of fun with your text options. Okay. So that's the next button here. Then you can add in things where you draw. And again, you can change the color of this. So maybe you've written something and you want to highlight it. Maybe you can undo this with that undo button. Maybe you want to add emphasis to a question that you're asking. Okay, the cool thing is Facebook still lets you undo things, so you can undo that, okay? So you can play around with the drawing button if you want to highlight something. When you click that see more button, you're going to get like things like animate. Now with animate, I have an entire tutorial on how to use the animation button specific for selling on social media. Cool tips and tricks on how to sell more using animation. So check out this tutorial. So if we go back to this one of Jake playing in the sink with his little army duck, if we click effects, you're going to see it's going to change the coloring. Okay. And so depending on your story, see that one adds in sparkles. There's lots of different effects. I'm not going to go over all of them here, but you can try out these different ones and see if you find one that you like. I don't use effects all the time, but sometimes they are really, really fun to add in. Okay. So that's the effect button, just to change things up a little bit. So I wouldn't overdo it, but every now and then, yeah, use one, make it different. It just makes it more fun. So this is all how to do stories with static pictures. What if you want to animate things more? So here's a video. So you can see I muted it just for the sake of this tutorial. Okay, I probably wouldn't mute it in real life, although the majority of people do watch videos in your stories without sound. So that's really important to know. And one of the hacks with this is if you're on Instagram's a whole other beast, but you can go in and you can add in captions, but you can also do something called timed text. Okay, so you can see here, I can type something, and then because I've inserted a video, as I was typing, did you see what popped up at the top? So it says set duration. So I can click on that, and while I'm still here, I can then choose to what part of the video I want this to be. Here's one that I made recently with time text, so people can watch the video. I'm saying don't turn on the volume. Trust me, it's pure chaos. But so it's going to keep them watching it. So time text is a really cool feature. Check out my tutorial on how to do that. You can also make a boomerang with a video. So it's going to let you highlight where in the video that you select the boomerang. So that's kind of fun. And then the other cool thing is, just like with the pictures, you can zoom in with using 2 fingers and make this fill the full space if you want to. And then you can start to overlay things here. So say you wanted to change the color, you could change the color of your video as well with the effect button. You could add in some text, and then I would recommend maybe like one emoji or something else with this to help increase the feeling. So that's how to use the boomerang button. Only other things that I want to make sure to note are you can make sure that Facebook saves all your stories, and that's super helpful because on your profile, Facebook has turned, so if we view my profile as a stranger, you're going to see that story highlights, these used to be featured photos and now they're story highlights. And so I have a whole tutorial on how to set up these areas using your stories. You want to make sure that your stories archive is turned on, so Facebook is saving your stories to your account. Okay, the cool thing about that too is when your archive is on, then you're gonna get memories every day. So like I can go back and see these stories from a couple of years ago that I posted. That's a fun thing. Make sure to check out this minute-long tutorial on how to make sure your stories archive is on and that your stories are saved, because it can be a very, very helpful tool. Okay, so then we can go and we can check. And oh, look, so I already am getting, I only have 3 viewers on this story, but I already have 2 votes. So I would say in the time that I made this story, it's already successful because it's connecting with my target market. Okay, I'm trying to not just sell stuff online. I want to connect with other moms who are working their businesses, and so they see like, hey, I'm in it too. There is a story that I just made. I didn't even plan on doing it during this tutorial. So that's how to do a lot of the basic things with stories. If you really want to jazz things up, go to my YouTube channel, you're going to see them here. I have a bunch of different tutorials on fancier things to do with stories. So here I show you how to do a typewriting effect with stories, how to talk about like testimonials or when customers give you product reviews, how to do like a text message conversation or like a product slideshow. So check out some of these other tutorials when you're ready to take things up a notch with your stories. So after you've made your really, really cool story, all you're going to do is come down here to click the share to story button. The other thing that you can do before you do that is click this save button in case you want to save this to your phone and then repurpose the content elsewhere. I highly recommend doing that. I'm a big fan of thinking and working smarter, not harder. So save it to your phone, use that story on a different platform or change it up to use as a newsfeed post. And then you're going to click this big blue button in the bottom right-hand corner that says share to story, and you'll upload your story. And that is how to start out making stories on Facebook. I hope this tutorial was helpful. Now, if you want to really step up your knowledge of social media, head on over to parisipack.com and check out my course. It's called The Secrets of Social Selling. And in it, it's a crash course. I go over 9 secrets to speed up the learning curve on how to wake up to people reaching out to you for your product and your opportunity. If you think this tutorial is good, if you think the Create Stories That Sell Facebook is good, all I can say is that The Secrets of Social Selling is 100 times even more powerful. In the meanwhile, check out either of these videos that are popping up on the screen right now. They're here to help you win and learn more marketing strategies that actually work on social media. And that's all I got. Share this with your team, hit subscribe, hit that bell so you can get notified when I release next week's video.